Hi, I am Kyle Robertson, also known as Rob the Art Teach. You're probably here today because you're thinking about doing a fashion show or interested in doing a fashion show as a fundraiser to engage your students and increase student ownership. So, we're going to get into this and we're going to have fun as we learn about doing fashion shows as a fundraiser. So today we're going to cover 5 key areas on building your fashion show. 5 key areas that I feel are important for you to be able to build a successful fashion show. Area 1, understanding pop culture. Area 2, engagement. Area 3, collaboration. Area 4, ownership. And finally, logistics. Pop culture. Pop culture is what's going on, what's new, what's live, what are the kids interested in. Understanding pop culture is going to be a major, crucial aspect of developing your fashion show. You want to be able to know what's trending with your students so that you can get your student engagement and your students wanting to be a part of the fashion show. That influence of pop culture will directly influence the engagement of the students inside of the fashion show. So, what's trending right now? What's some different things? One of our fashion shows that we created was the Bridge to Wakanda. We called it Bridge to Wakanda because it was based off of the Black Panther movie. And what we did was we broke down the Black Panther movie into segments of fashion. So what is going on currently in pop culture that you could look at and break down into segments of fashion? Oh, now that we covered pop culture, one of the areas that we want to make sure that we understand is engagement. Engagement deals with our pop culture, student ownership, and student empowerment. So we want to make sure that we bring those 3 key areas into our student engagement. We want to make sure that pop culture is doing its job of already luring them in by what they like already, what they're interested in, what's popular going on. So we use that pop culture to gauge what our theme will be for the fashion show. That theme that we coordinate can also be done and used with the students. We can have the students buy in by also having them select what the theme will be for the year. We did the Bridge to Wakanda based off of the Black Panther movie, but the students all loved it. The students loved the culture that was in it. It represented who they were. We had a great turnout because the students began to have the buy-in and they wanted ownership. They wanted to be able to have something to say about what it would look like. Allowing the students to have a narrative and a conversation about what they want the fashion show to be allows engagement to increase. We also want to make sure that we're empowering them. During our fashion show that we previously set up, we made sure that we were empowering them through culture. So one of the ways we got the students empowered through culture was we said we wanted people to come out in traditional African garbs. So with them coming out in traditional African garbs, we invited any student who is from the African culture to come out and wear their best dress, right? And so it allowed them to have a sense of pride, ownership in what they could wear, and they came and they showed up and showed out. Collaboration. You cannot do this alone. Doing a fashion show is a lot of work, and having partners in the game is a must. Get with your peers, get with your teachers. Once your fundraiser has been approved, it's time to find your team. Finding your team is going to be crucial in this game of building a fashion show. You want to make sure that you have at least one other male, one other female, because when your students are changing, you need somebody to monitor the restrooms or the fitting room that they're changing in. You want to make sure that there's something set in place with an adult there. Then you want to make sure that there's logistics going on. So all of that is necessary to collaborate with. Not only is this an opportunity for you to collaborate with peers, but it's an opportunity for cross-curricular collaboration where you can get other departments in. With fashion shows, I like bringing in all different forms of art. So I'll reach out to the ELA department and say, hey, can you guys run a poetry contest where we'll have these topics and whoever has the best poem will be the speaker of their poem at the fashion show. They'll be a performer. Hey, chorus, who's our singer? Let's have live singers. Maybe we can have the band come out and have the band play a number while the students are walking. All of these different areas are ways to collaborate. We've had our robotics teacher code a jacket that we put together and we sewed that had words scrolling all across it. All of these different ways were ways to collaborate. Not only that, you can reach out to different clubs and different sponsors to be able to help you with what's going on in your show.
For generations they fought, and for generations they taught to keep the culture and make it survive. And here we are to celebrate these days and the way that they have paved to keep African fashion alive.
Ownership. Ownership is one that we gear towards the students. What do our students like to do? What do they want to be when they get older? A lot of the students show interest in several different areas. Using a fashion show is an ideal time to bring out those students' interests and have them take ownership of a certain area. When we did our fashion show, one of the things our students were interested in were film. We had students film the entire process and produce a video. We had students who were interested in cosmetology, who were going to school for cosmetology. We had those students operating as makeup artists, with an adult who was a certified makeup artist covering them, watching over them, making sure they were doing things the right way. So, having students find ownership in different areas that they're interested in and partnering them with a professional in the area also gives them the experience, and it gives them a sense of ownership to make sure that they're working to the best of their ability and owning an area because they're getting shouted out at the end of the show for what they've done. For logistics, there are some key things that you will need. A sign-up sheet. Before you even get your models, you want to make sure you have the foundation laid. So you want to make sure you have a sign-up sheet ready to go for anybody who's interested in being a model. And we have to have an attendance sheet. Attendance is a must. If we're going to be working with so many different students, we need to know that they understand the choreography, they understand what their role is, they understand how to execute their role. So the students know if you're missing from the attendance, you're not going to be able to be a part of the show. Then we have a spreadsheet. We want to be reaching out to different designers. We want to be able to give the students the opportunity to be designers. But you want to make sure you have a spreadsheet of all the different designers in the show. I personally like to ask designers to bring anywhere from 10 to 15 pieces so that students have the opportunity to change and go into a next piece. You want to also have a consent form from the parents. Because the students are changing, they're being photographed, they're being recorded, you want to make sure you have some kind of consent form that says your students will be a part of this media event. A lot of the times your school already have a media form or a consent form for photograph or recording for your students. Then finances and ticket sales. Ticket sales are a huge aspect. How I do it is I separate between general admissions and VIP. I do VIP bags for every VIP seat. So every seat that is VIP sits on the runway, they get a VIP bag, but they also pay a VIP price. And VIP bags, you want to be able to reach out to so many different people, as many people as you can, for merchandise to go into VIP bags. This is where it's fun to have somebody in it, like the sponsor of FBLA, the sponsor of Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy, the sponsor of any club, because they'll take ownership and say, my students will be responsible for this, we're going to make sure that the VIP bags are filled with goodies. And I'll be giving you guys some different brackets and different sheets on what you can do for logistics of your fashion show.